Sometimes we all wonder what it's like to live in a developed country like USA. But the real question arises, why can't we develop ourselves one? India has an extreme poverty line fallen up to the percentage 5.3 in 2022 and 23, which is concerning, and one of the main reasons being the inaccessible and non-affordable education scenario in India. So, in order to highlight the situation of the poor and marginalized, and in order to uplift them, scholarship schemes were introduced. And that's why today I'm going to talk about scholarship schemes and its implementation. Hi, it's me, Nupur Raut from KDK College of Engineering, Nagpur. Education is a strong foundation one can build for a strong nation. However, in a country like India, where economic indifferences still exist, it is very difficult and it affects millions of people. That's why it is very well said that education seems more like a privilege rather than a right. As you all know, our constitution right that is reserved in Constitution of India, that is the right to education, our very own fundamental right. But the scenario is so different now that it seems more like a privilege rather than a right. So, that is why scholarship schemes were introduced, so that students who dream, who want to pursue higher education but cannot do or cannot afford due to their financial constraints can actually aim for it. Therefore, India has a wide range of scholarship schemes at central level, state level, or the private institution or NGO level. If we focus on to the central level first, then let me introduce you the NMMS scholarship scheme, that is the National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme, which is specifically for school-going 8th standard students which are from the poorer section but are academically well enough and well strong. So in order to uplift and give chance to such well-deserving students, it is important to raise their self-confidence. Then, the post-matric scholarship schemes for SC, ST and OBC. According to the sources, around 53% of students are actually benefited from the scholarship schemes provided by the government, which is indeed a blessing in disguise. Scholarship schemes have made a transformative change over the Indian education system. So, without any further ado, let us look at the positive outcome of the scholarship schemes over the Indian education system. Our very first being the increased access to education. Thousands of rural area students and even marginalized sections of students are now willing to access and willing to pursue higher education, which is indeed a very great, significant change. Now, the second one being the dignity. As you all know, scholarship is a kind of reward or a kind of prize one may have for his well academic performance. As you all know, that scholarship scheme does not focus on the monetary gains, but actually on the meritorious performance of the students. Then, to talk about the reduced drop rates of students from the college and universities. Previously, 1 in 4 out of students in 2017 were dropping out of the universities and colleges, which was increasing at an alarming rate, which eventually summed up to the 17% of the students' population, which is indeed harmful. So, scholarship schemes have given a chance to reduce the dropout rates from these universities and colleges because they no longer have to worry about the full fee payment. Next point being equality. As I told, in India, where social differences and economic indifferences still exist, it is very difficult to break the social barriers. But scholarship schemes have done that. Now, the students from all the sections are participating with more enthusiasm and with more interest level, that they are all willing to participate and sit together, which is indeed a very positive sign. To talk about the major significant change that has occurred in Indian education system, that was regarding the women empowerment. In India, the female enrollment rate has increased by 38.4%, which is a significant number and figure. That was the main reason behind the women upliftment and maintaining the sex ratio. They say great aim of education is not knowledge but action. That's how we may say scholarships are noble in intention, but the implementation challenges often dilute their impact. As I said, it is very easy to plan out and to decide, but what comes as a challenge is its implementation. So let us look at some challenges which might raise and which might help in improvement of the whole administrative process of the scholarship schemes. First of all, being the lack of awareness. People are still not aware about the various scholarship schemes that are introduced onto the portal or at the government level. There is a huge gap created between the scholarship seekers and scholarship providers. It is not usually that easy to assess and aim for a particular student. But due to this, many of the well-deserving and specifically the rural area students who are digitally illiterate often suffer. Then to talk about the complex application process, lengthy forms, document verification, technical errors and various other insignificant processes might lead to fatigueness and discouragement among the students. This is why various technical errors and web downs shall be solved. Nextly, talking about the delayed disbursement. Students are not receiving their money on time. There is a time delay due to which students are not able to pay their fees on time, which may lead to dropouts or suspension. Moving on to the lack of awareness of FRA program, where FRA stands for Fee Regulating Authority. People are not aware about this, which is really important because one might get fooled easily by the college by assessing extra money from the students. This is why FRA is built up so that fee structures is same in every colleges and there is a fair judgment. Lastly, talking about the corruption and mismanagement. How concerning and alarming it is if I tell you around 53% of scrutinized institutions were fake and non-operational in real. Who will be responsible for jeopardizing the education of the students who are dreaming of becoming an engineer or a doctor in future? So to solve such concerning issues, what can be the solutions? Our very first being the enhanced awareness campaign. As the students are not aware about the scholarship schemes introduced by the government then and there, therefore, they should make people aware through radio announcement, TV announcement, webinars, or conducting various Zoom meetings. Nextly being the simple procedure. The simple procedure on the website so that no student is suffering through confusion or fatigue. Then to talk about the timely distribution of funds. It is very important to distribute funds in the account of the student so that they do not have to worrisome in order to pay their fees. Then the proper monitoring. It is very much required to avoid corruptions and mismanagements. Therefore, running on to the conclusion, that is, we can say that scholarship schemes are not just financial aid, but an instrument for bringing on a social transformative change irrespective of the child's background. So let us remember, education is not a privilege but a right owned by each and every citizen of this nation. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.